Have you ever looked around your home and wondered, why do I even have all this stuff? Well, that's exactly where my story begins. Hi, I'm Linda, and today I want to share something very personal with you. Why I stopped buying expensive things after 60, and how it gave me a freedom I didn't even know I was missing. Stick with me because whether you're 60, 65, or even 75, this isn't just about money. It's about peace, about happiness, about finally choosing yourself. When we're younger, we buy things because we think they'll make us happy. A nicer car, a bigger house, a fancier handbag. Society, especially here in America, tells us that success looks like stuff. According to a study by Dr. Thomas Gilovich, a psychologist at Cornell University, experiences, not possessions, bring more lasting happiness. Yet we spend decades buying more, upgrading, filling our lives with things we barely use. I was no different. In my 30s and 40s, I loved going to fancy stores. New shoes, new electronics, new furniture. Even if it meant credit card debt, it made me feel worth it. But after I turned 60, something inside me shifted. I realized that most of those expensive things didn't make me feel better anymore. They made me feel weighed down. I remember sitting in my living room looking at a $3,000 leather sofa I barely sat on, and thinking, is this it? Is this what all that hard work was for? Around that time, I stumbled across a book called The Paradox of Choice by Schwartz. He explained something so simple but so powerful. When we have too many choices, we don't get happier. We get stressed. That hit me like a ton of bricks. The more stuff I had, the more anxious I felt. Always cleaning, maintaining, fixing, worrying. It was exhausting. And so, slowly at first, I began letting go. First, I stopped buying clothes I didn't need. I asked myself, do I love it? Will I really wear it? If the answer wasn't a strong yes, it stayed on the rack. Then, I tackled my kitchen gadgets. Do I really need 3 coffee makers, 2 blenders? The answer was no. I gave them away. Every time I let go of something, it felt like a small weight lifted off my shoulders. I wasn't just decluttering my house. I was decluttering my mind. Research backs this up too. A study from Princeton University found that physical clutter competes for your attention and makes you less productive and more stressed. No wonder I felt better. It wasn't about becoming a minimalist or living out of a backpack. It was about choosing freedom over stuff. It was about finally trusting that I was enough. Without a shiny car, without a giant TV, without $500 shoes gathering dust in my closet. And you know what happened next? I had more money in my savings account. I had more time to spend with my grandkids. I had more energy to take long walks, to read, to travel. Life opened up in ways I never expected. For example, instead of buying expensive gifts for birthdays, I started planning little experiences. A picnic in the park, a museum trip, a homemade dinner, and my family loved it. They didn't miss the big, expensive presents. They remembered the laughter, the time we spent together. Experts like Elizabeth Dunn, co-author of Happy Money, say that spending money on experiences rather than things leads to more lasting joy. Turns out, science agrees with what my heart was already telling me. There's also something very powerful about learning that you don't need to impress anyone anymore. After 60, you realize that real friends don't care what purse you carry or how new your iPhone is. They care about how you make them feel. They care about your heart. And you? You start caring more about your own heart too. Letting go of expensive things isn't just about saving money. It's about reclaiming your life. It's about saying, I'm enough exactly as I am. And here's another thing that surprised me. I started sleeping better. No more lying awake worrying about credit card bills or regretting some impulse buy. Just deep, peaceful sleep. Sleep experts from the National Institute on Aging say that financial stress is one of the biggest reasons older adults struggle with insomnia. Less stress equals better sleep. Plain and simple. And better sleep means better health, better moods, and yes, more freedom to enjoy the beautiful life you've built. And now, every time I walk into my simpler, lighter home, I feel a deep sense of gratitude. I'm surrounded by the things that truly matter. Photos of loved ones, cozy blankets, a bookshelf full of stories that make my heart sing. No clutter, no chaos, just peace. You might be wondering, is it really that simple? Honestly, yes and no. Letting go of the need for expensive things is simple, but it's not always easy. We live in a culture that tells us more is better, bigger is better, flashier is better. Every commercial, every glossy ad tries to sell us the dream that happiness can be bought. I had to unlearn a lifetime of those messages, and it didn't happen overnight. Sometimes, I would see a beautiful piece of jewelry or a brand new SUV and feel that old tug, the one that said, you deserve this. But now I pause. I ask myself, would this truly make my life better or just clutter it? 9 times out of 10, the answer is clear. I walk away. That pause, just a few seconds long, has saved me thousands of dollars and countless hours of regret. One practical trick that helped me was something I learned from Dr. Kelly McGonigal, a health psychologist at Stanford University. She recommends a technique called surfing the urge. When you feel the strong pull to buy something, don't fight it, but don't act on it either. Just ride the wave of temptation. Let it rise, peak, and pass. And it will pass. I tried it once in a fancy department store staring at a $200 scarf I didn't need. I surfed the urge. 10 minutes later, the craving was gone. I left the store smiling, not weighed down by another useless thing. Another powerful shift happened when I realized I didn't want to leave a burden behind for my kids. I remember reading about Swedish death cleaning, a concept by Margareta Magnusson, a Swedish author who teaches people over 60 how to declutter their homes so their families aren't overwhelmed when they're gone. It sounds a little dark, but it's actually a beautiful act of love. I started asking myself, will anyone really want to deal with this after I'm gone? If the answer was no, it went to donation. It felt so good knowing I was making things easier for my family, not harder. I also realized that true luxury isn't owning a closet full of designer clothes. It's having the freedom to travel light, to spend a weekend away with nothing but a small bag and a big smile. It's waking up without anxiety. It's being able to give generously to causes you care about. It's investing in memories instead of things. I remember taking a spontaneous road trip to Arizona with my sister. We didn't stay in a 5-star hotel. We stayed in a cozy little cabin, drank coffee by the fire, and laughed until we cried. That trip didn't cost much, but the memories? Priceless. Much better than any expensive thing I ever bought. Something else beautiful happened. I started appreciating simple things more. The way the sunlight pours into the kitchen in the morning. The quiet joy of baking cookies for my neighbors. Long, slow conversation with old friends. When you're not chasing the next shiny thing, you start noticing the everyday treasures all around you. Researchers like Dr. Sonia Lyubomirsky, author of The How of Happiness, say that practicing gratitude boosts your overall happiness much more than acquiring wealth. It's true. My happiest moments now have nothing to do with how much money I spent. They have everything to do with how present I am. And this change doesn't just make you feel good inside. It can actually make you live longer. Studies from the Blue Zones Project, which studied the world's longest living people, show that purpose, connection, and simplicity are keys to a longer, healthier life. Not expensive things, not fancy gadgets. Simple living, deep joy. That's the real secret. Of course, I'm not perfect. I still slip up sometimes. I still like treating myself now and then. An ice cream cone on a hot day, a pretty notebook, a fresh pair of comfy shoes. But these are small, thoughtful purchases, not mindless ones. The difference is that now, my spending matches my values. It's not about impressing others, it's about enriching my own life. And if I can leave you with one piece of advice today, it's this. Start small. You don't have to sell everything you own or live in a tiny house, unless you want to. Just start questioning your purchases. Start choosing freedom. Choose yourself. Every step you take toward living with less is a step toward living with more joy, more peace, more meaning. And trust me, it's never too late to start. Whether you're 60, 70, or 90, you deserve to feel light. You deserve to feel free. The truth is, turning 60 isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of a brand new chapter. It's a chance to look at your life with fresh eyes and say, what do I really want from here on out? For me, the answer was simple. I wanted freedom, peace, connection, and purpose. Not clutter, not credit card bills, not empty trophies of a life well lived but never really felt. And if you're listening today, maybe your heart is whispering the same thing. Maybe you too are ready to live lighter, to live freer, to stop tying your worth to what you own, and start anchoring it in who you are. Because you are enough. Right now. Exactly as you are. If you're looking for real proof, just look at the happiest people around us. They aren't always the wealthiest. They aren't always the ones with the newest gadgets. They are the ones who invest their time and energy in what truly matters. Family, friends, health, passions, and giving back. I think of Mr. Howard, a neighbor down the street. He's 82, lives in a small house with creaky floors, drives an old pickup truck, and yet every morning you'll see him waving, smiling, sharing tomatoes from his garden with everyone on the block. He has less, but he lives more. That's the life I want. That's the life we all deserve. Maybe you're thinking, but I've always loved nice things. That's okay. It's not about denying yourself beauty. It's about redefining beauty. Instead of a designer handbag, maybe beauty looks like a sunrise walk. Instead of the latest tech gadget, maybe it's handwritten letters to old friends. Instead of keeping up with the Joneses, maybe it's slowing down to cherish a simple dinner with your grandchildren. It's about making room, inside and out, for what really feeds your soul. And here's a little secret I discovered. The less you buy, the more you feel rich. Truly rich. Rich in time, rich in relationships, rich in energy, and rich in self-respect. Because you know you're no longer living for what others think. You're living for what you truly love. And that kind of richness? You can't buy that in any store. You build it. One small choice at a time. A few months ago, I sat with some friends at a local cafe. Nothing fancy, just chipped mugs and homemade pie, and we laughed for hours. No one was showing off watches or handbags. No one cared what shoes anyone wore. All that mattered was the feeling of connection, the stories, the memories being made right there at that wobbly table. That moment, simple and sweet, was worth more than anything I could buy. And that's when I realized, by letting go of expensive things, I hadn't lost anything. I had gained everything. This is the secret that no one tells you when you're younger. And I want you to hear it loud and clear today. After 60, you don't need to chase anything anymore. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You are already living in the prime of your wisdom, your strength, your beauty. Now is the time to live boldly, live simply, and live fully. And just in case no one has told you this lately, you deserve to feel light. You deserve to feel free. You deserve a life filled with joy, laughter, and love. Not clutter, debt, and stress. The best years aren't behind you. They're right here, right now, waiting for you to embrace them with open arms. It all starts with one small decision: to stop chasing expensive things and start chasing what truly matters. Choose yourself. Choose freedom. Choose joy. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. At the 60+ chapter, we believe in creating a life you love, mainly after 60+ age where not much people and supports are with you. Every story we share is meant to bring hope, knowledge, and tools that help you live better, not just longer. We are here for you, and we'll keep bringing you real stories, practical tips, and trusted advice every day. Don't keep this to yourself. Share this video with someone who needs to listen. Or if it simply gave you hope, please take a moment right now to click subscribe. It costs you nothing, but it means everything to us. It helps us reach more people like you, and it keeps the 60+ chapter channel going strong. Let's grow this beautiful community together.